And I just remember the torture of them saying, just freestyle in the middle. And then I dropped it like it's hot, because that was the thing then. Hi Vogue, I'm Lindsay Lohan, and this is my life in looks. I'm nervous, but I'm really excited, so I just want to start and open and just see how this goes. All right, let's do this. Oh! This is Nicole Miller, this dress. It was 1998 at the Parent Trap premiere, and what shoes do I have on here? My mom still has this dress. She kept it for me. It's still at home. I'm so young and fresh and ready for a premiere. When I was doing the Parent Trap, I remember I wanted to be more like Annie because she was more preppy and reserved, and she just had a classier twist to her that I really loved. Hallie was too American for me because I was too used to that, but Annie was my favorite. I always wanted to be Annie. I was always, as a young girl, really into fashion. My mom knew how much I loved it, so we went shopping for this dress, and I was the kind of little girl that on my 5th birthday, I had the greatest birthday dress with these kind of puffy sleeves and flowers all over, and my mom had to hide it from me because I tried to wear it every single day with baby pink leather cowboy boots. All right, I don't even want to even like, oh, juicy sweatsuits. But why was I wearing flip-flops and a scarf? This was during Freaky Friday, and I remember Tracy Cunningham was so upset that she had to do these white highlights in my hair. And I was really just rocking the Avril Lavigne vibe because that was my character. And I kind of took it into my daily life, which love Avril Lavigne, but for me, was not working on a daily basis, as I can see. I can't believe I don't see any red carpet here, by the way. Thank goodness, so you can't really say it was a red carpet. Okay, next. This was the first time we did a photo shoot where all of the girls got together and no one knew each other. I knew Rave and Simone because we got like an apartment that we were renting together. I mean, if you think about getting all of these actresses in a room today, just hanging out together, I feel like it'd be so different. I was one of the first girls there, and we were waiting kind of on everyone else. And I was just in and out of hair and makeup very quick because I was still at the age where I would go to the bathroom and take everything down a little bit, but just leave so my freckles were covered enough because I was afraid. I was so hateful towards my freckles when I was young, and now I appreciate them as I got older. I wanted to just get ready before everyone else, so there was like no stress on me. Freaky Friday. Jamie Lee Curtis is my favorite. This, I think, was probably the most fun I've had on set, was working with Jamie Lee Curtis, just because she just has the best energy about her, and it was so fun to be able to see her become young again and then be the opposite of her. I loved dressing for Freaky Friday because I was going through that phase of I wanted to experiment too and kind of wear the baggy pants and be the rocker chick. That's why I wore the juicy sweatsuit, I think, because I was in the middle of deciding how I wanted to be. When I dressed as this character and when we flipped, it was very different for me because I wasn't like that at all. I did my own nails, and I also, on the Parent Trap, I remember, because hard candy was a big deal, I was so strong on the fact that I had to wear nail polish as Hallie, and it had to be the blue hard candy. I regretted that later because when I had to switch over between both characters, it was a nightmare for everyone. And for this too, it had to be consistently chipped in Freaky Friday. So I always make those little last minute decisions for a character, but it bites me in the end. But it was worth it because it became a thing. Oh, I remember this day. This was Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. This was when I was like, please dress me like Britney Spears, because it was that whole era of Britney. These are things that I wish I would have saved because I could have worn this for Halloween another year. They wanted my hair to be more red, so I bought bleach on my own. And I remember Megan Fox was with me, and I was like, don't tell them, but I'm highlighting my own hair. And this was the result, so never highlight your own hair at home with just bleach. Mean Girls. Why was I wanting to wear this dress? We were like, the character has to just be too much, and my hair, I wanted it like Jennifer Aniston, but not really because it was long. So I remember doing the fittings for Mean Girls, and I would get really excited to wear the skirts and kind of dress more girly, but then I felt really relieved when I played Katie, just coming fresh out of Africa, like, because I got to chill and be more relaxed, and everyone was kind of jealous that I was wearing sneakers and they couldn't every day. The story behind me playing Katie in Mean Girls is actually really unknown by a lot of people. I wanted to play Regina because I had just come off of Freaky Friday, and I really wanted to play like a pretty normal girl now, and I wanted to have a different kind of role than just the damaged teenager again. And Mark Waters, the director, was insistent that I played Katie, and so was Tina. They were like, no, 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 you're the lovable one, you have to play Katie. So I was so eager to get into the transitional part of, okay, let's get to the pretty part of Katie. It's just such a lovable movie. This was my first time doing Saturday Night Live. These were the days where I was like, just make me tan. I think I did all Gucci for this whole episode. It's always so nerve-wracking before you go to do SNL when you walk out the first time. And then it becomes more comfortable after, but this time I was really nervous. And then to see all of my versions of myself that in this episode was funny. This reminds me of the Debbie Downer skit, which was so funny. I just remember thinking, if I just don't look at Jimmy Fallon, I'll be fine. And all I kept doing in the live was looking at him. And I actually got so nervous at the end, and I couldn't stop laughing that I just burst and I walked off because I didn't want to get in trouble. But then everyone started laughing, and I feel like that was one of the best experiences, just all together in everything I've ever done, because I've never had so much fun just doing something, and just when everyone becomes like, it becomes a contagious laughter, it's just the best. And then the audience can't help but laugh. I think that's the funniest on SNL, when people just break and lose it, because it's so real. When you do SNL, you're like, okay, I'm doing something right, because you want to do it again. And it's such an honor to be a part of this cast who works so hard day and night. Yeah, SNL's the best. So this is when I hosted the MTV Movie Awards. The opening didn't require me to dance. It was just supposed to be a comedy skit, but I wanted to dance. And I always think about these moments and then I wonder why I put myself through that, because I learned this dance about 25 minutes before the live show. And I just remember the torture of them saying, just freestyle in the middle. And then I dropped it like it's hot, because that was the thing then. But I remember also this look was what Lori Rock, and I was like, just give me as much jewelry as I can wear and all crosses to protect me on that stage. And I wore a Dolce & Gabbana tear-off suit, which was actually really fun to take that off. And then again, yeah, juicy. I definitely have to bring this back in the summer if I still have it. Also, I remember Sarah Jessica Parker, she had hosted something, and I asked, how many changes did she have? Because I need to have more. So I just put everyone through hell trying to get more looks. I'm so boho chic, but with diamonds. Like, what am I doing? This is when I was like I was like really changing for fashion. Like, my life was changing for fashion. And I remember this Chloe skirt. I still have this. No one wanted me to dye my hair blonde. Everyone was like, do not do that. You're gonna ruin your red hair, especially like my mom. And this is the problem. When you go from red to blonde and you do it in a rush, it goes yellow. This is the true hard fact. Don't change your natural red hair. I got ready at the Chateau Marmont in LA, and it was the first Vanity Fair, I think the first one I went to, Oscar party, and I had to stand there, and they had to stitch the back of the dress onto me because it was so delicate and dainty and I was nervous to kind of move around in it, so I sat most of the night. So funny, Jason Weinberg carrying my Birkin and my LV bag. Like, why did I need two purses to go to the Vanity Fair party for Oscars wearing a vintage Versace gown? Is that necessary? I just love the old Hollywood glamour. I feel like it's always timeless. It's always the best route, and you never feel bad about it afterwards. But this is experience, and this is really coming into my own of fashion and the appreciation for it. This was Marchesa that I wore to the Met. I didn't really know what I was gonna experience at going to the Met Gala and really being appreciated and welcomed to this event, and I was just so excited to go there. And the theme of this was Anglomania, but I'm asking if I really fit the theme here. Like, I can't tell if I fit the theme at all. I loved this shoot. This was Miu Miu, and we shot this in London. This was the first time that I really got the taste of doing a campaign because of how still you have to be and how it's positioned for the purse and the shoe and the dress. But I love shooting with them, and this was just a really fun day. And I kept all of these shoes because I love them. Oh, well, this was Georgia Rule, the premiere with Felicity Huffman and Jane Fonda. And I remember we all tried to coordinate the color scheme, like cream, what whites we were gonna do and how shiny it would be. I loved working with Jane, but I was nervous to work with her because she's Jane Fonda. And I was nervous to work with Felicity too, because there's such a force of nature in being with them. And I remember I was like 3 minutes late to set. And it was like out that I was like 3 hours late. It was 3 minutes. And she was waiting for me, tapping her foot, being like, Lindsay, we're all waiting. I was so embarrassed. It never happened again. I just really admired her, and I learned so much from her filming this, and just being a female on set and how she takes charge, and just kind of watching her and Felicity. And I've been really lucky to work with some of the greatest. If there's someone that I could say I really miss, it's Karl Lagerfeld. I remember this day in Paris, and I went backstage, and he just started layering me this. I still have this chain scarf, it's so heavy. He just wouldn't leave my side. Whenever I was in Paris, Karl was like a father to me, and he really took me under his wing. Every little habit that he would have, I would always watch, because I've never been nervous to meet anyone in my life. I met him the first time at the Fendi event in New York City for the Spy Bag. And I was just shaking. I was shaking. And I was so nervous. And from that moment on, the nerves were gone, but it's like you're in the presence of a legend. So what do you really do? And he treated me like his daughter. He wrote my mom an adoption letter that he was gonna adopt me and take me to Paris, but he had a list of rules. And I'm pretty sure we have that somewhere. I think I asked her to frame it, because he was just the best, the warmest, most loving person you could be around. Always so observant. And that was something that I really admired, because we live in such a fast-paced world that to be with someone who just observes everything and then has something to say, I feel like we forget to do a lot, which he always did. My little brother, Dakota, this was the first time I took him to Paris. He hates flying, but he flew to meet me. We just had the best time at the Saint Laurent show, and it was just so fun to be there with him, and shared fashion week with him, and just this whole experience. And the fitting we went to the night before, and that was a really fun process. My family's so important to me, so anytime that I have an opportunity to involve my sister and my brother and anything that I do, and my mom, I always jump at that chance, because you have someone so important to share it with, and those are the memories that count. I'm such a sap sometimes. Growing up, my siblings definitely had it harder than most kids their age, because I was such a public figure that they couldn't really escape any of the results of the things I did by mistake in the front of the public eye. So I feel like I also had to really lead by example as I got older and learned from my mistakes. Yeah, over time you realize how important family is, more than anything else in the world. So I'm really grateful that I was raised to appreciate the things that count. This was when my sister came to Australia with me. It was the second time I went to Australia. I had just hosted The Masked Singer. It was so fun to get dressed up like this, and with the hat and everything. My LV, my Louis Vuitton sunglasses that I have with me here. I loved working on Australia. It's such a beautiful place, and everyone's so sweet and nice, and it's very positive vibes over there. Yeah, I lived, New York, LA, and now Dubai. It just really happened how I moved to Dubai. It was just, I got there and I felt a certain sense of just like calm. I think it's because paparazzi is illegal there. I really found that I had a private life, and I could really just take time for myself. I decided to stay there because I really learned to appreciate what it is to go do my work and then leave and just live a normal life. It took me moving there to really appreciate the time that I take for myself, instead of just going and learning to say no, and really putting myself first and choosing the things that I want to do wisely for me first. Oh, Planet Fitness. So the funny story about this is I wrapped the movie and then the next day flew straight to LA, and then we shot this commercial the next morning. So it was like just the quickest changeover. When they were giving me the Jeopardy questions, I was like, do you really want me to say that? Because some of them I actually didn't know. But it was just really fun, and it was just a great 2 days of shooting. They were really open and working with me in terms of how funny we were gonna go and how backwards we were gonna get in terms of, my past and bringing that up. And it was just really fun to be so collaborative with them and the whole team, because they really let me go there in a very comfortable way to kind of leave the past in the past for good. And I felt like this was just a great way of doing that. I feel like it was just so fun to be back on set and at Universal Studios and shooting, and I realize what I'm always meant to do, and it's always acting. I feel really grateful and very, excited to be doing all of this, and everything's paced out so well and is happening at the right times that's really special to me. Oh, this is from my upcoming movie, Falling for Christmas with Netflix. This was the first day of filming, actually, we took this picture. The thing that happened on this day was someone on set had leaked a call sheet of where we were shooting in the location. Paparazzi were trying to find where we were shooting, and we had to get a still to release so that we had the rights to it, and then it was done the right way. I had so much fun coming to do this because I had such a different appreciation just from not filming in so long. I just was really excited to be there and just really grateful and happy to be around everyone. The difference for me is how fast they film movies now. We filmed this in five and a half weeks, which is just wild to me of how quickly you can make a movie. Parent Trap was like 8 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days. I remember that. So this was it's a whole new world for me. Well, that's it. Thank you, Vogue, for joining me on a trip down memory lane of do's and don'ts of my fashion history. Thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to see what the next red carpet brings. I felt so poised doing that. Okay, that's it.